Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Today we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 8, Chapter 13, Description of Future Manas. And we will read text 1. Normally up to text 11. 11 is the first verse with a purport. This entire chapter has very little, very small purpose, and only a few. But I presented this chapter 13 to the Bhaktivedanta students, and I have a lot of commentaries on them. And we can read them and go to them. Maybe interesting to get a deeper insight in this chapter. Although Srila Prabhupada does not give much purport here. So I propose that we are repeating together text 1, because I don't know how far that I will come today. We may even not come to text 11, which is the first book. But, so text 1. So please repeat. Shishuka uvacha.
Shishuka uvacha.
Mano vishvashvata putra. Shadadeva iti shruta.
Shadadeva iti shruta.
Saptamo bhaktamano yas.
Saptamo bhaktamano yas.
Tattapatyani me shvinu.
Tattapatyani me shvinu.
Shishuka uvacha.
Shishuka uvacha.
Mano vishvashvata putra. Shadadeva iti shruta.
Shadadeva iti shruta.
Saptamo bhaktamano yas.
Saptamo bhaktamano yas.
Tattapatyani me shvinu.
Tattapatyani me shvinu.
Shishuka uvacha.
Shishuka uvacha.
Mano vishvashvata putra.
Mano vishvashvata putra.
Shadadeva iti shruta.
Shadadeva iti shruta.
Saptamo bhaktamano yas.
Saptamo bhaktamano yas.
Tattapatyani me shvinu.
Tattapatyani me shvinu.
Shishuka vacha.
Shishuka vacha.
Mano vishvashvata putra.
Mano vishvashvata putra.
Shadadeva iti shruta.
Shadadeva iti shruta.
Saptamo bhaktamano yas.
Saptamo bhaktamano yas.
Tattapatyani me shvinu.
Tattapatyani me shvinu.
Shishuka vacha.
Shishuka vacha. Mano vishvashvata putra. Shadadeva iti shruta. Saptamo bhaktamano yas. Tattapatyani me shvinu. Third translation. Shishuka uvacha.
Shishuka uvacha.
Shukadeva Goswami said,
Shukadeva Goswami said,
Manu,
Manu,
Vishvashvata,
Vishvashvata,
of the sun god,
of the sun,
Putraha,
Putra,
son,
son,
Shadadevaha,
Shadadeva,
Ashadadev,
Ashadadeva,
Iti,
thus,
Shruta,
Shruta,
known,
known,
celebrate, Saptama,
Saptama,
seventh.
7.
Vartamana,
Vartamana,
at the present moment.
The present.
Ya,
Ya,
he
you.
who. Tat,
Tat,
his.
his.
Apatyani,
Apatyani,
children.
children.
Me,
Me,
from me.
from me.
Shrinu,
Shin,
just here.
just here.
Translation. Sukadev Goswami said, the present Manu, who is named Shadadev, is the son of Bprs, the predominating deity on the sun planet. Shadadeva is the seventh Manu. Now please hear from me as I describe his sons. Chichitayamanuksham staptam yena bhutalisham dadati padam. Vandeyam Shiyuda Padakamam Shiyum Vaishnavam Sa Shiyupam Sarjatam Sagam Pagnatam Tam Sati Satvaitam Sabudutam Paritama Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Shri Radha Krishna Pradam Sakalita Shiksha Kam Bhutam. Hey Krishna Karuna Sinudina Bandhu Te Gopesha Kokakanta Namaste Tapta Kanchana Gauri Radhe Vrindavanashri Vishavana Shri Pranamama Hari Pancha Kautra Vishakti Person Vivsha Padnam Pavanabhyo Vaishnavyo Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasat Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Namo Vishnu Krishna Vistaya Krishna Te Bhakti Vedanta Swami Tinamani Namaste Saraswati Devi Gaurvani Pacharani Nirvsis Srinivada Pushpachani Tesataran Srila Prabhupada. So we have this chapter description of future man, and I think the next chapter is a system of universal management. So I am speaking here about the manus, some managers is in this universe. So why is that important for our Krishna consciousness? Because this is Krishna's system, which he established for this universe. Every topic related to Krishna is very auspicious. Then we will hear of Krishna organizes this system. He personally appoints these manus. And there are 40 manus, I think, in the day of Brahma. And today we heard already in the Bhagavatam up to now of a few of these manus, of these 14. And now we will hear about the rest of the manus, which will have to come. So Bhagavatam speaks about the future, right? Not just the past, the future. So it speaks about the rest of the manus. Until now we had heard about 6 manus. From count of 3 to 7, we have heard about the first man, the man who came to Kaidamamuni, of his daughter Devavati. What was his name? Swayambhuva. That's the first one. And then in Canto 8, chapter 1, we have heard about 2 other manus, Uttama and Svarachisa. And then later, from chapter 1 to 4, we have heard about the reign of Tamasa, so the 4th one. So in that reign of Tamasa, there Lord Hari has saved Gajendra. Gajendra appeared in the reign of Tamasa. And then you have Raivata and Chakshusa. So that is our two more manas. Chapter 5 to 12 are describing the Chakshusa mana, and also chapter 24 will describe Chakshusa. So what were the incarnations that appeared during the reign of Chakshusa Bprs? That we have heard about Moini. That was, yes. We will hear also about Matsya in the last chapter of this canto. That now this first verse is describing the present man. That Shadadev, born son of Vipashpan, that so Vaishvathamanu is the son of Vipashpan, and his name is Shadadev. That's Vaishvathamanu mentioned in the first verse of the fourth chapter of the Gita. So Shadadev was the son of Vipashpan. Which incarnations will appear during this month? Lord Panande, that we will hear in this canto. And who else? Krishna appeared. Balaram appeared. Lord Chaitanya appeared. Buddha appeared. Although Panande is the one that is listed here, that yes, he's the one that is listed, but there are so many are coming. So we are very fortunate to be close to the last incarnation, Lord Chaitanya, who appeared 500 years ago, and at the end of this Kali Yuga, now, verse 2 explains about the present man. That I read verse 2, 3. Ikshvaku navagas seva trista saryate evacha narisyanto dana vaga saktamo isham uchate tausasam prasidaskascha dasamo vasuman smita Mamupaivaspadasyate dasaputra paramsapa. Spoken Parishit. Among the 10 sons of Manu are Ikshvaku, Nabaga, Trishta, Saryati, Narishyanta, and Nabaga. They are the sons. The 7th son is known as Dishta. Then comes Tarusha and Prishadra. And the 10th son is known Vasuma. So we will hear further of them in the Bible, most of them. So in the 9th canto, we will hear about all these different sons in the 9th canto. 9th canto will go in detail about the Surya Vamsa and the Soma Vamsa. So Ikshvaku studied from his father Manu. So Saryati is the father of Sukarya, who married Shaivana Rishi. And Prishadra was cursed to be a Sudra because he killed the cow by accident.
Who killed the cow by accident?
and Prashira. Prashadra. That's in the 9th canto. He was trying to protect the cow.
Okay.
And it was the Amiabas, the time that there was no moon, it was completely dark, and he heard the tiger coming, and with his sword he was protecting the cow against the tiger, but he could not see he could not see the cow, he could not see the tiger, and when the tiger attacked, he took his sword and tried to hurt the tiger, and he hurt the tiger because there was blood in the tiger. But he also accidentally killed the cow, and he was cursed to be a Sudra, but Krishadra, at the time of death, was thinking of Krishna. And he went back to the spiritual world, so he was free from the curse, but he went back to the spiritual world. No, we will hear in the 9th canto, text 4. Aditya Vasavudra Vishwadeva Marutkana Avinav Vivavo Rajan Indrastesham Purandara. In this Mambata, O king, the Adityas, the Vasas, the Rudras, the Vishwadevs, the Maruts, and the 2 Ashkini Kumaras brothers, and the Rivus, and the demigods, their head king Indra is Purandara. So we see when the Manu changes, then also the Vasus, the Utras, the Shaptarishis, they all change. The whole management, new management, they all change. And Indra is a title, and our Indra is mentioned here, is Purandara. That's his name, Purandara.
Purandara means?
Purandara is the name of our Indra. I don't know what the name
What is
is,
the name?
but it's his name. So he sent some Vartaka clouds to destroy Govardhan. That's Purandara. So it describes the demigods, all the demigods in the present day Manu here. So Indra is a post, and the name of Indra is now Purandara. With every change of Manu, there is also a change of the 7 sages. Whenever the Manu changes, all the demigods and the sages, they change. So who are these present sages? We hear in the 7th text, text 7. They have all their own planet, the Saptarishi. That the Saptarishi in Kamyapan, you have the Saptarisha Kila. It's like a hill, and on top it is said that the Saptarishas came there to do sacrifices, and on top of that hill, the sand is like powdery. So, and they say that these are the remnants of the sacrifices. This powder, and there is a temple with the Saptarishis, and you can see them there. And it's very interesting.
Where Maharaj?
Kamyavan. In yeah. So those are the present sages. Kashyapi, Atra, Vashishta, Vishwamitra, Gautama, Samadakni, and Bharadvaj are known as the 7 sages. Kashyapi, Vashishta, Cha, Vishwamitra, Gautama, Samadakni, Bharadvaya, Iti Saptaksaya, Smriti. So these are the present 7 sages. Kashyapa, Kashyapa is the grandson of Brahma, Kashyapa Muni. You heard of him. He's one of the Prajapatis. The Srila Prabhupada writes, the son of Maharishi. So Marichi, one of the son-in-laws of Prajapati Daksha. The father, Prajapati Daksha, father of the gigantic bird Garuda, was given elephants and tortoises as eatables. Garuda. He married 13 daughters of Daksha, Prajapati. And they are Aditi, Danu, Kashta, Arishta, Surasa, Ilam, Muni, Kodavasa, Tamra, Surabi, and Timi. He begot many children, demigods and demons by those wives. From his first wife, Aditi, all the 12 Adityas were born, and one of them is Vamande. That son of Aditi. He was also present at the time of Arjuna's birth. He received the presentation of the whole world from Parashuram, and later he asked Parashuram to go out of the world. His other name is Arishtanemi. He lives at the northern side of the universe, Arishtanemi. He lives near the North Pole, where the 7 stars are. The big difference in the words of the Western science. Atri Muni, he was a great Brahmin sage. He was one of the mental sons of Brahma, one of the 7 Manasa Putras, and one of the 7 sages, Atri Muni. In his family, the Prasidas were born. He had 2 Kshatriya sons who became kings. Who else are Atri Muni's famous sons? Dattatreya, Durvasa Muni, that we know them, sons of Atri Muni, and Soma is the father of Soma, our moon god. Vasishta is a prominent figure in the Ramayana and in the Mahabharata. He celebrated the coronation ceremony of Lord Rama. He was also present at the battlefield of Kurukshetra. So he could approach the higher and lower planets, and his name is also connected with the history of Hiranyakashipu, who was practically in every lila, Vashishta, Vashishta, that the Ram lila, in the Singha lila, in the Krishna lila, Vashishta will be there. There was a great tension between Vashishta and Vishvamitra, Vishvamitra wanted this Kamadenu, this wish-fulfilling cow. Vashishta refused to share his Kamadenu, and therefore Vishvamitra killed his 100 sons. Quite a drama. As a perfect Brahmin, he tolerated all the things of Vishvamitra. Once he tried to commit suicide on account of Vishvamitra's torture, but all his attempts were unsuccessful. He jumped from a hill, but the stones on which he fell became a stack of copper. Thus he was saved. He jumped into the ocean, but the waves washed him ashore. He jumped into the river, and the river washed him ashore. All his suicide attempts were unsuccessful. Even amongst the great sages, there are suicide attempts. You want to become one of these other sages, think twice. Vishvamitra's father was a Kshatriya. Although he was Kshatriya by birth, he became a Brahmin in the very same body by the power of his spiritual achievements. He got into a quarrel with Vashishta when he was the Kshatriya king, performing a great sacrifice in cooperation with Markenda Muni, who was able to vanquish the sons of Ashista. He became a great yogi, but failed to check his senses, and he was obliged to father Sakuntala, the beauty queen of the world history. Once when he was a Kshatriya king, he was visiting the hermitage of Vasistha and was given a royal reception. Vishwamitra wanted a cow named Nandini, and the Muni refused to deliver it, so Vishwamitra stole the cow. There was a quarrel, and Vishwamitra was defeated by the spiritual strength of Vasistha. Thus the king decided to become a Brahmin. So he underwent severe austerity on the bank of Kausika. He was also one who tried to stop the Kurukshetra war. Not only did Krishna try to stop the Kurukshetra war, the sages also. So Gautama is one of the 7 sages that so Saradvan Gautama was one of his sons that persons in the Gautama Gotra, the Gautama dynasty today, are either the family descendants or in a specific succession. Even today there are descendants that 2 kinds, disciples and family descendants. So the Brahmins who profess Gautama Gotra are generally family descendants, and the Kshatriyas and Vaishnavas who possess Gautama Gotra are all in the line of the disciplic succession. So 2 ways come in the Gotra. One is by initiation and the other is by birth. He was the husband of the famous Abalya, who turned into stone when Indradev, the king of heaven, molested her. Abala was delivered by Lord Ramchandra. Gautama was the father of Kripacharya, one of the heroes in the Battle of Kurukshetra. And he is the father of logic, Nyaya philosophy. So if you think the life of these sages is all Sharanamrita, words and Sharanamrita, it's different. So Jamadagni, the father of Vishwamitra, had a daughter, Satyavati, and she married a Shikamana, and her son was Jamadagni, and his son was Parasuram. When the king Kartavirya stole Jamadagni's wish-fulfilling cow, Parasuram, with the Sakya base incarnation of the Lord, killed Kartavirya and later he annihilated the Kshatriya dynasties 21 times. After Parasuram killed Kartavirya Arjuna, Jamadagni told him that killing a king is sinful, and as a Brahmin, he should have tolerated the offense. Therefore, Jamadagni advised Parasuram to atone for his sin by visiting various holy places. And the last one of the sages mentioned here is Bharadwaj. He was also present at the time of the birth of Arjuna. He took sometimes austerities at the shore of the Ganga, and his ashram is still celebrated as Prayag Dham. The Rishi, while taking bath in the Ganga, happened to meet Hitachi, one of the beautiful society girls of heaven. Thus he discharged semen, which was kept in an earthen pot from which Drona was born. So Dronacharya is the son of Bharadwaj Muni. He was a great devotee of Brahma. Once he approached Brahma and requested him to start the battle of Kurukshetra. So these are the 7 sages, a lot of history. That
Actually, Maharaj, like, where did you find all the information what says this?
many things here are in the Bhagavatam.
Oh,
Many in the purpose of Prabhupada, and that's all from the Bhagavatam. That Srila Prabhupada does not mention it here, but it's all over the Bhagavatam with information. Mainly, yeah. So verses, we'll now read verses 6 to 9. Atrape Bhagavat Shanma Kashyapa Avipe Ante Adityanam Abhaktacho Vishnu Vamnagupade. And in this month, Bhagavad Supreme Personality of Godhead appeared as the youngest of all Adityas, known as Vamna, the dwarf. His father was Kashyapa and his mother Aditi. Sangseptato Mayuktani Saptamam Mamvam Taranike Avishan Atavakshami Vishnu Saktya Vitanijam. I've briefly explained to you the position of the seven manas. Now I shall describe the future manas along with the incarnation of Lord Vishnu. Vishvasvatasya Vaichaye Vishvakarma Suteovi Samyachaya Saram Chanda Ekrakabhite Tapam. O King, I previously described in the sixth canto the two daughters of Vishvakarma, named Samsa and Jaya, who were the two wives of Vipashpam. A lot of stories about that also. And text 9. Tetriyam Padavam Eketa Samsakyam Sitastrayam Samajam Ishada Devas Sayaya Sansitam Srina. He said that the sun god had a third wife named Badava. Of the three wives, the wife named Samya had three children, Yama, Yami, and Shadadev. Now let me describe the children of Shaya. So we heard here that Vivashpan is the father of Shadadev, or Vaishvatamanu, by Vaishvatamanu. That's Shadadev. And his mother is Samya. And our present Manu, this is our present Manu, has a brother and a sister. And the brother and the sister is Yamaraj and Yamuna. Yamaraj and Yamuna were children with a span. That now text 10. Sabanis tapati kanya bhaya sambhanasyaya sanaishastrayo bhuts. Sanaishastrayo bhuts ashvinam panavatmajam. Shaya had a son Savarni and a daughter named Tapati, who later became the wife of King Sambhavan. Shaya's third child is known as Sanashara Satyam. Vedabha gave birth to two sons, namely the Ashvini brothers. So now we have heard here Sanashara is Satyam. So now Satyam is the third child of Shaya. Shaya is the wife of Vipashpan. And Vipashpan had three wives. Shaya is one of them. From Shaya, Satyam was born. From Samjaka, Yama, Yama. And from Badava, Ashvini was born. There's a comment here from Shida Swami. I will read his comment. And, finish with that first part. Some say that Vadava or mare means female horse. That's what Siddhasthami says. That he's speaking about. Says that Vadava was the third wife of Vivashvana. But my opinion is that Vadava is the same Jakya in the form of a man. Man is a female horse. Just as said in Srimad Bhagavatam 6.6.40, then she again, Samya, while wandering on the earth in the form of a man, gave birth to 3 children, Yamaraj, Yamuna, and Shadava. And also, as far as Shaya is concerned, I heard that once Samya was feeling the rays of Vivashvana too intolerable. Yeah, that happens when you are married to the sun god. The rays of Vivashvana, she found it too intolerable, too much. So she could not tolerate living with him anymore. Thus she left some shadow or something as substitute. Chaya means shadow. So it was a shadow of herself. It was a shadow of Samya. Because it became too intense living with Vivashvana. You can imagine a very fiery personality. So Samya left the shadow of herself, and then Chaya gave birth to Satyam, Sanasha, and others. That story is, maybe I think it's in the Mahabharata. She left the shadow, and then she went hiding in the form of a man. And so Samya left the shadow of herself, is Shaya, which means a duplicate. And in the meantime, she was hiding in the form of a female horse on the earth. This is straight about the third one. But Vivashvana took the form of a male horse and found her. Then Vishvakarma arranged their marriage. Vishvakarma cut 1/8 of the rays of Vivashvana, and from this 1/8 he made the Sudarshan Sakra. So by that Samya could stay with him because he was less intense. 1/8 was gone. So anyway, these things are happening on the heavenly planes. That the 8th Manu is the son of Shani. And now we will read text 11 in the purple to finish. Astamenta ayate savarna pavikamano nirmukam pyachaskadya savarni tanayanipa. Okay, when the period of the 8th Manu arrives, Savarni will become the Manu. Nirmukha and Vyasyaska will be among his sons. So Sukadeva Goswami speaks about future Manus. They are now all described. Of course, we don't have their history yet, because it's in the future, so there will be less commentaries. Purple. The present reign is that of Pashpata Manu. According to astronomical calculations, we are now in the 28th Yuga of Vashpata Manu. Each Manu lives for 71 yugas. So we are at the 28 out of 71 that still young. And so Manu lives for 71 yugas and 14 such months rule in one day from. We are now in the period of Vaishvatamanu, the 7th Manu, and the 8th Manu will come into existence after many millions of years. Sukadeva Goswami, having heard that authorities foretells that the 8th Manu will be Savarni, and that Nimoka and Yaska will be among his sons. Shastakam foretell what will happen millions and millions of years in the future. So 71 yugas is how many years we calculated. It's 33 million years that one man lives. 33 million years. So Shastra can tell in the future. But there are other predictions of Srimad Bhagavatam. Buddha was predicting in the Bhagavatam that, and that's predicted in 1.3.24 Bhagavatam, the 3rd chapter of the 1st canto, where all the incarnations are listed. There it said, then in the beginning of Kali Yuga, the Lord will appear as Lord Brahma, the son of Anjana, the province of Kaya, just for the purpose of eluding those who are envious of the faithful priest. Another prediction in the 11th canto, 11.5.32, Lord Chaitanya has predicted. Krishna Paramahams Vishantishnam Sankopagasta Spakshanam Sakyevsam Kirtana Vayeryam Sumedasam. In the age of Kali, intelligent persons perform congregational chanting to worship the incarnation of God, who constantly sings the names of Krishna. Although his complexion is not blackish, is Krishna himself is accompanied by his associates, servants, weapons, and confidential companions. So, also, Prahlad Maharaj predicted Chaitanya. And also Kalki is predicted. Kali is predicted, and the symptoms of Kali are predicted in the 12th canto. Sanakya Pandit's appearance is predicted in the 12th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. There are predictions in the 12th canto of the Bhagavatam. That in Srimad Bhagavatam 12.1, verses 39-40, barbarians in the guise of kings will devour the citizens, murdering innocent women, children, cows, and brahmins, and coveting the wives and property of what command. They will be erratic in their words, having little strength of character, and be very short-lived, indeed not purified by Vedic rituals, and lacking in the practice of regulated principles. They will be completely covered by the modes of passion and ignorance. More predictions about Kali Yuga. Without money, you cannot have justice in the court in this age. It is very true right now. Long hair will be considered beautiful. One who is arrogant will be considered truthful. A spiritual position will be ascertained by external symptoms. People will change from one spiritual order to the next. If someone does not earn a good living, he will be considered crazy, insane. He is insane if he cannot support himself. He will be a hero when he can maintain his family in Kali Yuga. A sacred place will be considered to be no more than a reservoir of water. It is already like that. Many Indians go to holy places, take baths, take pictures, selfies, and go to eat in the places around, and that's their pilgrimage. And then they go back and show the pictures to everyone. So filling the belly will become the goal of life. So these are the predictions from Srimad Bhagavatam. So yes, we will probably tomorrow we will end the chapter because there are no purports, but I have these back my comments on the preparation of the Bhaktivedanta course. They make it a bit more interesting. Any comments?
So we're hearing the case of the Saptarishis, how they were involved in all sorts of wild stories and all these things happening in the heavenly planet. So it seems a bit odd that even in the Vedas there's these section karma kanda. Okay, I'm going to do these austerities and then I'm going to be quiet and happiness. But then you see what's happening in the heavenly planet. There's a lot of anxiety also.
Yeah, it's Kali Yuga. So look at our own lives. My own life, so many stories. Nothing important, but all stupidity that's happening. So it's no exception. Everyone has so many issues in one's life. That's Kali Yuga, especially in this stage. And these sages, they are not free from that. So many intrigues in this universe. They may be sages now, but before they did also a lot of things. And they have to get their reactions and so on. So many things. But can we learn from that? Krishna says this world is Dukhalayam, Ashasvatam. So we learn from the Bhagavatam that even on the heavenly planets, everywhere it's Dukhalayam. Everywhere. So what's the message? Get out of it. That's the message. Any other comment? Yes.
Alright, thank you. Maybe if we can explain, it says how we think of the spiritual position by the signs, external signs.
How we think of spiritual position by what?
In the prediction, it said in Kali Yuga, we understand the spiritual position by signs, external signs. Can you say all this, how we see this, or all this is happening?
Yeah, that's one thing that one is spiritually advanced in so many concocted ways. That we see that by science they are thinking, they understand how the world works and so on. But it's all external. That it's all external. And they have no idea what spiritual really means. That although logic dictates that there must be a cause of everything. And logic also says that this cause cannot be material. It's not possible. The cause cannot be material. But they don't see that. They don't understand. They don't understand that what spiritual means. They cannot explain the source of consciousness. Telling everyone, consciousness is a product of matter at a certain time. And they think spiritual is mental. Get mental peace. That Yes. So, no deep understanding. Yeah, well, what is what I read here? And, mhm. The spiritual position will be ascertained by external symptoms. That's the point. External symptoms. I changed my dress. That that external symptoms. We see also, it was in the news in France since the 1950s. French uh, pastors or clergy have abused nearly 3,000 children. That so they take the position by external dress, but their heart is full of lust, and that's a problem. That's external, and that's Kali Yuga, ascertained by external symptoms. That, but it has internal symptoms of purity, and that's not there. That's what mentioned here. What mentioned. But something else.
Like, thanks for nice class. Like you explained very interesting way, like on about Manus, Rishis. And everything. So I need some suggestion. Like whenever I see in Bhagavatam all the descriptions like this, my mind is off. You understand, right? Like my mind was not focused because these are like description about history and these things. But when I study like uh, some knowledge about like I was interested like about the knowledge. When I studied the history or this thing like in Bhagavatam, it's like my mind was off. Like how can I like get interest? Like how?
Well, most of the things I've said are in the Bhagavatam. All these pastimes will be described in detail.
Past tense is okay, but I'm saying like they describe it, this when they describe about like Manu, this Manu, that past tense I'm okay. I'm not saying
Yeah.
that. But when they describe about names of different Manu,
Yeah.
like you understand, right? Like, so
Yeah, you mean you cannot remember them?
yeah, remember them, but I won't get interest to read. Like you understand, I won't get interest. Like my mind was off completely.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I read everything. You can hear the recording again and go a little slower and take notes and do research in the database. You will find where they are connected, and then you will see yeah. Of course, it's good to understand Bhagavatam. Therefore, there are these genealogical tables out there with the
Family, yeah, family
yeah,
tree, yeah.
tree, and it's good to understand.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But that's also in the Bhagavatam, this in the appendix.
Oh, okay.
That you find that also that at the end. So these things are there. Good, thank you.
One more question.
Yeah.
See, like all the incarnation Buddha, like Sankaracharya is incarnation of Shiva, and all the different uh, philosophy. But why the Lord? I know, like I understand, like because Lord want to preach according to the circumstances and according to the situation, time, and the nature of the people. I understand that, but so instead of coming like Buddha or like Sankaracharya, he can come directly as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu before all this incarnation, so that we won't have like people don't have like different conception of things, like different processes. Like it's simple, right? Like, but I know like it depends upon place and circumstances and nature of people. But why Lord want to have like this kind of evolution, like
He had a very clear plan.
Yeah.
But the point is, people were not ready for it. So first, first Buddha came
Hmm.
because they were misusing
Sacrifices.
the Vedas to do animal sacrifices and so on. In name of religion, they became meat eaters. So, but because they were too sinful, they could not immediately accept the existence of God and so on. That's not possible. But what Buddha did is he stopped their sinful activities by rejecting the Vedas and then establishing ahimsa. So that was the first thing. But then later on, Sankaracharya wanted to re-establish the Vedas, but they were still not ready to accept the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So he re-established the Vedas, but made it impersonal. So then, after that, Madhvacharya appeared. Because Buddha had said everything is zero, void.
Hmm.
There is nothing like a spirit soul or something. And Sankaracharya came and he said, everything is one. We are all Brahman. And then Madhvacharya came and he said, no. Everything is different. That everything is two, not one. So, because they were still not ready to accept the Supreme Personality of God, but it was a step forward. They would accept the Supreme Personality of God, but everything it's too different. And in the philosophy, the ontology of the souls of Madhvacharya, if you study that, everything is different, have different souls, everything. But then that was the plan. Then Lord Chaitanya came and he said, yes, it's not zero, it's not one, it's not two, it's one and two at the same time. Different, it's one and different at the same time. So that was the plan of the Lord to prepare for Lord Chaitanya.
Step by step.
Step by step. And if you want to hear more about it, Bhakti Charamach gave as a series of lectures on the previous acharyas, also that also Vaishnava acharyas, that and there he explains that very clearly. Nice to hear that you get the
Yes.
Good.
And that's nice.
Okay.
So one more question, last question. So in one of the Prabhupada like translation, you mentioned like when you are like fully like try to surrender to the Krishna will give you the scientific understanding of Krishna consciousness. So how like, can you elaborate the point?
Yeah, that's that's in the Bhagavatam, the scientific understanding that, of course, we say it's explained how the science works in the Bhagavatam. So first you hear about Krishna with great attention and serve the Mahatma, the spiritual master. And then Krishna is pleased and you get taste. And when Krishna sees you have taste for him and to hear about him, then Shrimpata Svakata Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtana Rityanta Toyabatana Pidona Charichatam. It starts to purify your heart and take away all these material desires. And that happens gradually by hearing the Bhagavatam regularly attending the class of the Bhagavatam, that Srinastapesa Patisunitya Bhaktisivya Bhavatu Tamaski Bhakti Naistiki. So then gradually you become purified. That nearly all unwanted things are gone. Nearly, not completely. Because Tatoja Stamopa Kamla because the mode of the influence of the mode of ignorance and passion are going away, but goodness is still there. And that's also contaminated. But then, what happens then when you are in goodness and situated in goodness? Evam pransha manasa bhagavat bhakti-yoga bhagavat tattva-vihyanam mukta sanghasya chayate. And there you have the point. Then one becomes peaceful. Evam pransha manasa bhagavat bhakti-yoga. Then you can focus your attention on Krishna and add devotion. And when you get that devotion, that then bhakti, so it's evam panchamanasa bhagavat bhakti yoga bhagavat tattva vihyanam. That's a scientific understanding of Krishna consciousness is given by Krishna in your heart, and then you understand everything very clearly. That at that moment, when you come at that moment, then you understand the science. But this science is not a scholarly endeavor. It's given by Krishna to the heart in the form of realization. That's the scientific and the comprehension of the science of God that Srila Prabhupada explains. Good, thank you. Good. Continue tomorrow. Jai Srimad Bhagavatam ki Jai Prabhupada ki Jai.
Yeah.